Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my update to my Project Pan. So that is a series that I do here on my channel where I pull in pretty much a full face of products and I'm trying to use them up to completion, get them out of my collection, and then roll new things in its place. So if that sounds good to you, if you want to see all my progress with these products, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around, but with all that, let's just get into it. All right, I am really excited to update you all on all of these products. We do have one roll-in today, but even outside of that, like some of these products, I got some really good usage on this past month, and I'm excited to show you because I think we're going to have quite a few rollouts in the next upcoming months. I'm going to go in order of application. That's just what's easiest for me rather than what's been in the project the longest. So I'm going to start with primer. This is the Elemis Superfood Glow Priming Moisturizer. It does provide somewhat of a glow, but primarily I use this as kind of like a moisturizer because that's really all it's good for. It doesn't have that much of a glow on it, like a little bit, but I don't love illuminating primers. That's why usually I put illuminating primers in my Project Pan. I prefer more of a pore blurring primer. Anyways, making really good progress with this. This is where I was the first update, and then the second update, at least my best guess, because this package is opaque. I pulled this in November of 2024, and in March I used it 24 times for a total of 67 times since rolling it into this project. I can't see through this. I really don't know where I am, but I'm thinking about there. Last time I kind of took this dropper thing out and tried to like look down it, but we're getting so far down that I just can't see. So I have no idea. It's going to be a surprise to you and me once I finish this. It is 2 fluid ounces and I pretty much use it every single time I do my makeup, with the exception of when I'm doing a foundation review and wear test because I don't use primer. So good progress on this, 24 times, really happy with that, and we're getting up there. So we'll just have to wait and see for this one. Then we get into all my different kind of concealers. The first one that I have is more of a color corrector. It's the Benefit Boiing Brightening Concealer in the shade 2. I pulled this in October of 2023, and I used it 24 times this past month for a total of 360 uses since rolling it into this project. And you can tell from the photos popping up, like it had very little usage on it when I rolled it in. This has been quite the feat. Again, 24 uses, just like my primer. Pretty much use this every time I do my makeup, with the exception of foundation reviews. But let me just show you what this is looking like. Here's what it's looking like. I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel with this product. It's starting to even, I don't know if I can show you, but it's starting to even crack on the sides when I put my finger on the sides here to try to wear it down, like it's breaking apart. Part of me wants to like smush this all together, but I'm not going to. I want the satisfaction of seeing this pan, this bottom of the jar, get bigger and bigger and bigger. I am going to try and like work on this little corner here because you can see it kind of just like split apart, but very happy with this. Very, very happy. 360 uses. I mean, I've put the work in with this product. I do have other color correctors in my backup stash. My goal is to eventually only have one, and I don't even think I need to have a backup. Like once I'm starting to get low, then I can purchase a new color corrector. This is a category I definitely want to just lower in my collection. Then we have the Nars Soft Matte Concealer. We've seen this, we love this. It's been in my project since I started Project Pan. It is the oldest thing in my Project Pan, coming in September of 2022. So I used it 23 times this past month. I don't use a lot of it because it's very pigmented. I don't necessarily normally need to spot conceal. I kind of have been breaking out just a little bit. Like I broke out here. I have one like above my lip, very small ones. I think it's because I just finished up a sunscreen and I'm starting to use a new one. I think it's the sunscreen. Anyways, normally I don't use that much of it. Here is what it's looking like for what? 2022, end of 2022. At least 2 years in this project. Again, you're going to see the roll-in photo, but I put the work in on this. I'm at 293 tracked uses, but as I explain every time in my update, the first year I did not track my progress on things. I didn't count them when I was using them. So this has a whole year of untracked usage. It's definitely higher than 293 uses. But here we are. I think this is going to be in here quite some time more. Definitely it's going to surpass the benefit. It's going to surpass a lot of these products. It has. It's seen a whole slew of new things come in, and it just continues to stick around. So, I mean, I will give it to this Nars concealer like I've gotten my money's worth out of this. Next up, we have my actual concealer. I picked another pot concealer because I love to torture myself. It is my oldest concealer though, and that was part of why I picked it. It's the RMS Uncover Concealer in the shade 11. I rolled this in July of 2024. I said then that this is a race against time. It is my oldest concealer, and I can tell like it's starting to get there. It's starting to get there. But I used it 21 times this past month for a total of 94 times since rolling it into this project. And this is the one that I'm pretty proud of. Let me show you what this looks like. After like my first use in March, I hit the bottom of the jar. So this past month, I have just been expanding this jar. It was not as deep as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I knew that this glass is deceiving because this entire part, like there's no product in this base here. So it is very shallow, but I did think it was a little bit deeper than that. I didn't think that I was as close to hitting the bottom of the jar as I was. So I've been spending the last month just expanding this 21 times. I'm really trying to focus in on this product. It's nice. I don't think I will love it during summertime. It's just really emollient. So I'm trying to get it used up. And now that I've hit the bottom of the jar, I actually think I could do that before it expires. It's not giving me any kind of reaction. It still smells fine, but like I can just tell. It does get a little bit just less creamy if you don't use it for a couple days. Like I used it today, so it's fine. You can see just like how really like creamy and emollient this is. It still performs well, so I'm not worried. Until I get a reaction or something, like I will just keep using it, but I do set it with powder because it can be quite shiny. Quite shiny if you don't. It's a nice concealer. I would never repurchase it. I don't really see the hype behind it. I know RMS is kind of getting a lot of hype recently for their new bronzers and blushes. Not really interested in them. I just want to get this out of my collection and start to focus in on some other concealers because that is definitely just like an out of control category for me and it could get demenued. But I think I'm going to finish this sooner rather than later, which makes me very, very happy. Now we're going to talk about my foundation. This is the Valentino, very Valentino Light Lasting Perfecting Foundation. I rolled it in let's see, November of 2024. It has not been in the project for that long. I have the shade LN4, by the way, and this is where I'm at. So I used it a total of 17 times this last month for a total of 47 times since rolling it into the project. This is definitely where I'm at. This foundation has finally started to settle since it's gotten like a teeny tiny, a few degrees warmer than it has been in the winter. During the winter time, it was really sticking to the sides and I was worried I wasn't going to be able to see the progress, but it's finally starting to like settle in. I just did shake it so you can't see the line as well as you normally could. Yeah, really happy with my progress. Here I am. This is one of my favorite foundations. That's why I want to use it up. Right now in wintertime, I do currently have to mix this foundation with a lightener. So I'm not using as much as I normally would use if this matched me correctly. So I'm hoping like come summertime, we'll just get through this a little bit faster. But even still, like if I trend as much as I have been, because this was after my first update, and then this was after 2 updates, this second line here. This is more accurate of 1 month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I still have like a good year with this foundation. We'll just have to wait and see. It depends on how much I use it, of course. When I use a foundation, I'm only using around 1 pump of foundation. So it does last me a little bit longer. I'm only using like half a pump, 3/4 of a pump with my lightener. So that's why it's just going a little bit slower. Hoping to have this out though by the end of the year. That's my hope. Now my powder is my latest roll-in. No, it's one of my newest roll-ins. It is the Lancome Absolue powder, the Radiant Smoothing Powder in the shade Ecru Light. I rolled this in February of 2025. I've used it a total of 22 times in March for a total of 31 times since rolling it in. I was able to make a new line. I can't tell you how happy I am about this. Like, close to my RMS concealer, I am so happy about this powder. This is a lot of powder. It's 10 grams. Here's where I was when I rolled it in, practically brand new. I mean, that was just air. That was not me using it. And here is where I am today. I have put the work in on this powder. I've put the work in because I'm not a huge powder wearer. I do wear powder, but I try to, be kind of light-handed so it's not too cakey. Maybe my line's even wrong. There's like even like a little bit of a gap. But, for 22 times, I'm really happy with that progress. I do still think this is going to be a long haul product. I don't think I'm going to get through this anytime soon, but I have been able to really routinely incorporate this into my makeup. So that way I'm using it every single time or close to every single time that I'm doing my makeup. I will normally just kind of like, it has a little puff here. I kind of just take the lid, tap it very lightly, and I'll do that 3 times. So I'll tap a little bit in, swirl my brush, get the powder nice into the bristles, do my forehead, tap again, do this side of my face, tap again, and put more product, and then do this side of my face. That's kind of my routine with this. And yeah, I do like it. It is very smoothing. It is very blurring. It's a nice finishing powder. My only complaint is, again, still with winter time, it's just a little bit light for me. So because of that, I have to counteract it and add even more lightener for my foundation because it would just be way, way too dark. I mean, I'm wearing this and this today. So I have to just be mindful with the shade of foundation. I have to almost make it a little bit lighter than I want because this will darken up my foundation. So I could potentially go in with more of this, but because I'm using the powder, I'm not. I hope that's making sense. Now we move into my bronzer, blush, and highlight. For these 3 products, I'm only trying to hit pan in them. And I'm kind of playing with the idea of once I hit pan in these, not rolling anything in its place. Because I have 15 products in this project, and I would like to get more to around 10. It makes these videos pretty lengthy, and because I'm only trying to hit pan, not finish them up, it seems like maybe I don't need them. I also do have cream bronzer, blush, highlight. We're going to get to that, but maybe stick with the creams and then the powders I eliminate from this project. Let me know what you think of that. Something I'm just kind of thinking of to make this project a little bit like less product heavy. Let's start with the bronzer though. This is the Fenty bronzer in Inda Sun. I rolled it in December of 2024. I used it 15 times this last month for a total of 52 times since rolling it in. Here is what it's looking like. Again, another one I'm just really, really proud of. You can kind of see the dip there. I don't know if this product has rings or not, but I feel like I can see the rings. But I feel like I've seen other people pan this and it didn't have rings in it. So I don't know if I'm just imagining it. I don't know if it's the way my brush is working the product, but I feel like I can see different rings in it. And the nice thing about this is a product that gets hard panned quite easily, but because I'm using the Lancome powder, which I use after my concealer, so I do foundation, concealer, and then I kind of set my whole face with this blurring powder. and then go in with my bronzer, blush, and highlight. Because of that, I haven't gotten hard panned as much. Like I haven't had to pull up product this past month because the powders really set it and the brush is not kind of picking up some of my foundation, creating hard pan. So I really like that. I think I'm pretty close to hitting pan on this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling very optimistic, but I do feel like I'm close to hitting pan. We will just wait and see. Next up, we have my blush. I pulled this in October of 2024. It is the Pat McGrath blush in Nude Venus. This is a hard pressed blush. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I wanted to get my money out of my luxury makeup, but pulled it in October 2024, used it 16 times this last month for a total of 74 times since rolling it into this project. And here is what it's looking like. Not very different. I mean, when you compare the photos from when I rolled it in to now, like you can see some progress. I can definitely see some progress, some wear down, but to like still fully have the imprint in, like, man, I am realizing how long this is going to take me to actually hit pan in this. Hopefully not my whole life. It's a nice blush. I'm wearing it today. It's easy to wear with a ton of looks. So it's not like I'm hate panning this by any means. It is a very nice blush, but man, I just wish blushes weren't so hard to hit pan on. That's where we're at. The highlight I rolled in February of 2025. So the same time I rolled in that powder. It is the Dior Luminizer in 001 Hollow Pink. This was like a limited edition highlight that went viral for a long time because of Mel Thompson. I had to purchase it because she loved it. So I used it 15 times this last month for a total of 29 times since rolling it in. And I'm also really proud of this progress. So while we're like not loving the blush progress, the bronzer and the highlight, I feel like has some good progress. For pulling this in February, only having 29 uses on this, like I think that's pretty good. Not to repeat myself, but you're going to see the roll-in photo. Like, I mean, I do think there's some changes in here. I do focus my brush kind of right here-ish. So I don't know. I think pan is closer to what I think. I don't think we're close to pan, but I do at least have hope that maybe like 6 months we'll get pan in this. Your guess is as good as mine. We're getting through the products here. Now we have my cream, bronzer, blush, and highlight. That's why I'm saying it seems kind of silly to have like 2 blushes, 2 bronzers, 2 highlights. Maybe my project pan, I mostly focus on creams and then shop my stash, which I also do. I'll link that up above that playlist. In that project, I can focus more on just rotating through my powder cheek products. Anyways, my cream product is this Hourglass Sheer Illume Trio. I pulled this in October of 2023, so I have been working on this for quite some time now. I used it 22 times this past month for a total of 192 times since rolling it into this project. And when I say 22 times, it means I used the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight. Each, I use all 3 products when I use this. Last month, I repressed all 3 products because it was getting hard to use, and I've been delaying showing you this, but now's the time. Here is what this palette's looking like. I am so pleased with my progress. Even after repressing it, I think you can notice a huge difference in the bronzer here. I think the bronzer has like 3 months max. Really 2 months, but everything always takes longer than you think. So 3 months with this, I'm gonna be so excited to finish this up. The blush is actually going fairly quickly. I'm trying to like focus my brush evenly, but for some reason, like it's just kind of been picking up in this corner here. It is what it is. Like eventually once I hit the bottom or the side pan, I will kind of repress it again. And then the highlight, I'm even feeling like I'm making good progress with that. I do use my finger with the highlight and I use this entire palette to underpaint. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with this one too. I can't wait. When did I roll this in? October of 2023. It has been a minute and it's going to be so satisfying to finally see this empty. I'm very happy with my progress. Now, of course, because I did repress it, it's a little bit easier to pick up, but that's part of why I repressed it instead of in the middle to the side, because that way, like the product that's underneath here is not repressed. Once you kind of smush it down, it's going to be easier. It's going to be more emollient, right? So I try to keep it as true to its true state, its true product, its true form as possible, and instead like took half the pan and just moved it over to the side so my brush could use it easier. Yeah, that's where we're at with this. I'm hoping if I could have this palette finished by the end of the year, the entire palette, I would be so ecstatic. But that's where we're at with this. Now we have a couple more products. The next one is my first rollout. It is my setting spray. I had the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. Here's what it is. It does have like a teeny tiny bit left. I'm calling this done. I don't think it's enough to use in the last month. Here are my progress lines. So I rolled this in November of 2023. I used it 26 times this last month for a total of 191 times since rolling it in. And I rolled it in. It was practically full. There it was. I'm calling it done on this. I will be rolling in another setting spray. Maybe I will like pour the rest of this in that new setting spray. I don't know, because I'm crazy like that and I just have to finish every last drop. But it is really hard to like spray this now. It's just like sputtering little droplets, and I think it's time. I think it's reasonable to roll this out and roll something in. So I will be rolling in a new setting spray. I mean, it did take me quite a long time to finish this, rolling it in at the end of 2023. Like this took me over a year to finish. I feel like people finish their setting sprays a little bit quicker than that, but I mean, I'm using my makeup as organically as I can. I try not to overuse it. I have a lot of setting sprays in my collection. This is also a category I would like to just maybe have like one or two, like a setting spray and then maybe like a more facial mist type of spray. But we'll go over my rollover in a little bit. The next thing I want to talk about are my two pencils. So first one being my Dior black eyeliner. We're getting there. We are getting there. This is what it looks like. And it's starting to like shrink back from the packaging. I did use it today. So I rolled this in October of 2023. I used it 16 times this past month for a total of 179 times since rolling it in. I have to think, unless this goes all the way down, I have to think that I'm close. I'm so excited about this as well. I've never finished a full eyeliner. Let me just show you on my tracker where I am, because I always do that. So here is where I'm at. You can see a big jump from, what was that, December to January, only because it started breaking when I was sharpening it. So yeah, that's where we're at. My very dirty planning journal, because I get foundation all over it. Really happy with this. I will roll in another black eyeliner the second that I finish this up and just keep chugging along with black eyeliners, because I have way too many in my collection for someone who used to not really wear black eyeliner. The next one I have is my lip liner. So this is the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in Dolce K. I was hoping this was going to go a little bit faster, but it's not. I rolled this in July of 2024, used it 18 times this past month for a total of 123 times since rolling it in. I mean, this is slow and steady progress. It's basically the only lip liner that I use. And here is my progress line, so you can see where I started and now where I'm at. Pretty consistent progress from month to month. I did, for whatever reason, have a good month this past month. I don't know what happened, or maybe it needed to be sharpened in February. I sharpened it and then sharpened it again in March, so it got 2 sharpens rather than 1. I don't know. But yeah, don't know how far down this goes. We'll just have to wait and see, but I would really like to dwindle down my lip liner collection, and that is why it is in this project. Next up, we have my actual lipstick that I'm trying to finish. Well, it's kind of a lipstick. It is the Buxom Power Plump Lip Balm in Glowing. And I rolled this in April of 2023. I am somewhat hate panning this at this point, but I am determined to finish this. It will happen. It just has to. I'm so close now. I used it 16 times this last month for a total of 217 times since rolling it in. Here is what it's looking like. And you can see like it really stops right here. I'm hoping it's focusing. The rest of this is plastic. So that's where we're at. It doesn't look the best on the lips. It can look a little bit thick, depending. It's not really like a lip balm to me. It's definitely more of a lipstick. It takes forever because it is so chubby. You see my roll-in photo. It was practically brand new when I rolled it in. Here's what it looks like when I roll it all the way down. I put too much work into this to not finish it. So it's happening. It's happening no matter what. Hopefully like 2 more months if I can really buckle down and use it. It's sad because I kind of keep some lip products on my desk that I'm unofficially trying to finish up, like ones that are maybe close to finishing up that I'm trying to, and I find myself reaching for those more than that Buxom. Like I'll just show you my Fenty gloss here is getting, my little mini is getting so low, and I'll reach for this over the Buxom any day. I really just need to try and get uses here and there before bedtime, something with this lipstick, and get it out and throw it away. It'll be the happiest day of my life when I finally throw that away. Now, the last product that I have to talk about is a fragrance. If you can tell behind me, I have a lot of fragrance. So I do want to be focusing and using some of my fragrances. I rolled this in last month and I used it 28 times this last month for a total of 28 uses since rolling it in. It is the Clinique Happy. I don't know how big this is. I think it's 1.7. Didn't I do this last time where I try to like see how much it was? It's 50 milliliters, 1.7. So we'll see how long this takes me to use. I'm thinking it's going to take me about 6 months based on how much I used it. Like I said, I used it 28 times, pretty much almost every day. And if I'm going off that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 months. If I'm pretty consistent with my use. That's what I'm thinking. I'd be really happy to kind of just like get this out of my collection. I like to buy fragrances for the bottles. Why? I don't know. It's my expensive hobby and I like having the bottles. This bottle's not really special or unique in any kind of way. So that's why I kind of want to push myself to get this one out. And then I'll roll in another fragrance. That's how this project goes, right? So now that we've talked about all the products, let's talk about my roll-in. And it's going to be another setting spray. I mean, I kind of have like my main products and then I just want to get through the collections of them. So I decided to pull in one that had a little bit of usage on it already. It is the Pixi Vitamin Makeup Mist. Looks like this. I had to look at this actually to see if this is more of like a skincare treatment because it says vitamin makeup mist with orange blossom and citrus extracts. It's 2.7 fluid ounces, but it does say you can wear it over makeup. So it can be kind of like a melting powder in type of product. This is where I'm at. I need to add a sticker to this, but I will, and then I will mark it. I would say we're like a third through this. Yeah, a third through this. So hopefully, this only takes me a year to finish up. Not more than that, but we'll see. Now that I've really been getting into the groove of using a setting spray, because when I rolled in that Colourpop, I wasn't really using setting spray at all, which is why I rolled it in because I needed to start focusing on my setting sprays. So maybe I'll have this done sooner. It is really nice. I like the spray on this more. It's just a lot more of a fine mist. So we'll see. This would actually be one that I would consider repurchasing, except I wouldn't, because I only want to have 2 setting sprays in my collection, and I like the MAC Fix Plus more and the Urban Decay All Nighter. Those are kind of the 2 that I'm thinking will be like in my permanent collection of setting sprays once I get through them all. But this is actually nice, and I would recommend it. I like this a lot. So that is my progress, my update for my project pan. As I always say, let me know down below if you are doing a project pan so I can cheer you on, because we all need cheering on when it comes to project pans. Sometimes it gets a little bit tough, like with my Pat McGrath blush. Like every day I'm using it, I'm like looking at the pan, like, is it getting further down or not, and it seems like it's not. So let me know so I can just go and support you. But this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.